Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about how I learned how to be so financially frugal and so financially free to the point where I can now dictate how I'm going to, move my income from savings, investing, all these things, and then still find peace, still find fun, still find freedom throughout all these things. Now, some people think that it's okay to just spend willy-nilly, buy whatever you want, and because you are capable of achieving more wealth over time, and most people will achieve more wealth over time, you can spend whatever you want, and then as long as you have a big enough shovel, as long as you have a lot of cash, you can always work your way out of it. But I do not operate in that manner. What do? I have learned from others. I've learned from my parents. I've learned from what was around me. You see, in the African culture, and this is not just going to be African culture, you might even see that in the Indian or Hispanic culture, because those were the ones that I was more closely connected to, so I can speak on a little bit. A lot of the habits that are homegrown kind of stick with you throughout your life. The people that I talk to, the people that I work with, the people that are surrounded by me, they tend to have some of those same qualities. They seem to have some of those same skills, right? And so when I say, although I can spend $700-800 eating out, having fun, doing all those things, I also spend $200 to $250 on groceries every month, right? Because I do know how to cook, because I do like to cook. It's a skill that I learned over time. I seen my mother cook 7 days a week. I seen her say, hey, we're not eating out. I remember asking for McDonald's and not getting it. I remember all those days, right? Not because we maybe couldn't afford it, but because we had food at home. As every time I heard we had food at home, there became a point in time where I just knew there was nothing outside to eat. There was only food at home, right? And so because I had that understanding, I already knew that, listen, that outside world was cool. There was a cost associated with it. And I learned that lesson every single time I had $1, because I would run over to Burger King after playing some basketball, boom, 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 boom. And I never had the 9 cents for the taxes, right? I never had the 9-cent taxes, but I love the workers there because they would see this kid come up to the counter, ask for that bacon burger with zesty sauce, and the sauce was free at the time. They would give me that burger. They would say $1.09. I would hand them $1 every single time, and they never turned me away. But I knew I didn't have enough for that meal every single time. I did not have that 9 cents. I was 9 years old, maybe 11. By the time I hit 13, we figured it out, okay? But I absolutely remember those workers, loved them to death, because they gave me the opportunity to not only be a kid, but to learn a valuable lesson over time without the harsh reality of it, right? The harsh reality was they could have said, no, you don't have the 9 cents, you're not getting that burger. But the reality was that every time I gave that dollar away and I got that burger in exchange, I also did not have that dollar again to buy another burger. And so if I would win that money playing basketball, I would not have any money to give. And so that's how I made money as a kid. I would play basketball with the $1 I had, win the bet, I would have $2. And that's the only way I could maneuver through life, because there was no jobs giving me a job. And so if you had to figure out a way, then you would figure out a way. I was also fighting for money later on in life. When I hit 15, 16, 17, those were the days where we would have fight nights. And that's how I would earn money. People would bet on me. People would bet against me. And then we would just win that pot. And so I absolutely had to figure out the hard way when that money was scarce, when it literally took my blood and sweat, when I had to dribble that ball or when I had to throw those hands, it was always a lot of intense action around me in order to get that reward of that bacon burger. And so those habits of understanding, whoa, this money will disappear. I can't just ask somebody for this money. I had to figure out ways of earning and making money, right? When you had that hustle mindset that New York tends to imprint on you, there's only two things that will happen. You'll either continue to be broke, but still work extremely hard, or you're going to be rich and work extremely hard. Those are the only two outcomes. Either way, you're working extremely hard. So which side of the point do you want to be on, being from a city like New York? What side do you want to be on? You understand? Because I don't know no one who don't work hard, whether they're a scammer, whether they're doing it legit, whether they're an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, whether they're W-2 or they're 1099. I don't know no one who don't work hard. But that doesn't mean that they're in the same stages of life, right? And so you got to understand, what skills do you have outside of your work ethic? What habits have you built outside of your work ethic in order to be financially free, in order to get ahead? I'm going to talk about this again because I'm super, super excited about my friend who hit me up today, and they was talking about how they budgeted and they were able to quit their job. And so I got to shout you out one more time. Don't know if he wants me to say his name, so I won't. Let me know in the comment section down below if you do. But like that ability to say, yo, I budgeted, I know my money, I know what I need every single month by the dollar. I can quit my job, I can find something new, I'm okay. That's amazing. That's an amazing first step. I remember being there. I remember being stressed out of my job. I remember not wanting to work there no more. I remember those days. I'm super, super grateful that people are starting to get to that point in their life. And I know that all this hard work that I'm putting in on this YouTube channel, it doesn't matter if it's this year, next year, or the year after. When people start hitting their 30s, 40s, 50s, they'll come back to these videos and they'll say, yo, this guy was right. Yo, I followed these steps. I can't believe that I'm here today because of these steps. And so if you didn't have the mental clarity that I had walking into that Burger King and knowing I couldn't afford this, but they gave it to me anyway, when you didn't have to go into a store, a shoe store, a mom and pop shoe store and say, I can't afford these shoes for $100. Can I get it for 80? The pops would negotiate with me. The son, when I walked in there the next year, would be like, no. If you don't got the money, why would you even try them on? That's different, right? But the pop said, $80 for these? Sure. The son said, no, right? And so I got all those perspectives all throughout my life. Now when I walk into a store, bags on bags on bags, and it's okay. It's not every day that I do that. Maybe it's for my birthday. Maybe it's for a video shoot, whatever the case may be. But I know that when I walk in, they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy offering me stuff. Oh, yeah. Because they know, okay, he's in a different level of life now to where he can afford it. I remember walking into a store at 16, 17 with my summer youth money. If anybody's from New York, they know that summer youth money, right? That 3 months of work that you get for that program. Oh, yeah, I was ready to bowl out. I opened up $200, probably in fives. Somebody said, is that your parents' money? I mean, I completely understand you're a child. You got some money. You shouldn't have that much money. But, nah, I worked for that. And it's different. It's different when you can say, I worked for that because it wasn't handed to me. It wasn't handed to me. And so when you got to work for something, you got to get it a different way. I could promise you that there's nobody in my family, especially on the male side of things, that lacks that emotional maturity when it comes to finance, when it comes to respecting money. They may not be the biggest investors. They may not be the biggest savers. They may allow themselves to get into a little bit of debt, but they know how to save. They know what it takes to be an investor. And they know that they have someone like me that they can fall back on, take advice from, listen to, and get that clarity that they need to say, yo, I'm going to move in this direction because I have goals to accomplish. I got things that are bigger than going outside and eating today. I got a house that I need to buy. I got a car that I need to pay off. I got a credit card that needs to go down to 0. Those are the type of mindsets instilled in 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, because they're trying to get ahead. I'm talking about to a place that they have never even dreamed of before because they've seen their brothers do it. They've seen their friend do it. They've seen me do it. And if I can do it, you absolutely can, because I'm telling you, I had absolutely nothing, but we still made a way. We still made a way. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for podcasters. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.